There's a moment every American muscle car fan fears. You're sitting in your Hellcat, 707 horsepower at your command, thinking no car can touch you. Then, out of nowhere, a stock 1998 Toyota Supra pulls up, and in seconds, your car is dust. American muscle didn't just get challenged, they got obliterated by Japanese engineering. Today, we're counting down the top 10 Japanese cars that turned Mustangs, Camaros, and Corvettes into garage decorations. From the legendary Nissan Skyline GT-R to the iconic Toyota Supra MK4, these machines didn't just dominate, they rewrote the rules of performance forever. And trust me, you'll want to watch till the end, because number 7 was so dominant, it got banned from racing. And number 1 completely changed the American car scene. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss the fastest, rarest, and most insane Japanese cars ever made. Let's go. Car number 10, Nissan 300ZX, Twin Turbo, ZID 3.2. The Nissan 300ZX, Twin Turbo, introduced in the early 90s, is a car that consistently flies under the radar when discussing automotive legends. At a glance, it's a sleek sports coupe, but underneath, it was a technological masterpiece. While Detroit manufacturers were still experimenting with fuel injection, Nissan had already engineered a twin turbocharged V6, producing 300 horsepower, with variable valve timing, four-wheel steering, and a digital cockpit dashboard that looked like it belonged in a fighter jet. Motor Trend didn't call it the import car of the year, they called it the import car of the decade. On the straight line, it could keep pace with a Corvette ZER1, but in the corners, it humiliated its American rivals. The only downside? Its complexity. The engine bay was packed with technology to the point that mechanics needed a service manual just to change spark plugs. But that complexity was intentional. Nissan wasn't building a car, they were building a weapon system. And when it arrived at car meets in the early 90s, Fox body Mustang owners were forced to rethink everything they believed about performance. The Z32 proved a timeless lesson. Sophistication beats brute force every single time. Car number 9, Mazda RX-7 FD3S. The Mazda RX-7 FD3S occupies a unique space in automotive history. It wasn't just faster than American muscle. It was fundamentally different. Beneath its sculpted hood was not a V8, not a V6, and not even a conventional piston engine. And it housed a rotary engine, 2 spinning triangles that revved to 9,000 RPM, producing 255 horsepower from just 1.3 liters. That's a power-to-displacement ratio that made Detroit engineers physically uncomfortable. The FD3S's chassis weighed 2,800 pounds, lighter than most modern compact cars, with nearly perfect 50-50 weight distribution and suspension geometry that Mazda spent years perfecting. The result? A car that could carve corners with surgical precision while muscle cars of the era merely plowed through them. And the sound, an unmistakable rotary scream, followed by the whistle of the turbo, was a warning to anyone foolish enough to chase it. The RX-7 FD3S wasn't just fast, it was rolling, spinning, turbocharged art, leaving Camaros and Mustangs looking like freight trains. Car number 8, Honda NSX. The Honda NSX is where Japan stopped playing nice. Honda went after Ferrari and Corvette, and the result was a car that didn't just compete, it shamed its competitors. Mid-engine layout, aluminum monocoque chassis, titanium connecting rods, and a V6 with VTEC screaming to 8,000 RPM. What made the NSX truly revolutionary was that it was developed with input from Ayrton Senna, arguably the greatest racing driver in history. The result was a supercar that could be daily driven, handled flawlessly, and could be pushed to the limit without consequence. Ferrari was forced to redesign the 348, simply because the NSX made their flagship appear fragile and outdated. The NSX's 3.0-liter V6 produced 270 horsepower, and yet the car's ultralight chassis and perfect balance made it feel faster than most V8-powered competitors. And on a road course, muscle cars couldn't touch it. At car shows, enthusiasts bypassed Mustangs and Camaros to admire the NSX. This wasn't just performance, it was psychological warfare. Car number 7, Nissan Skyline GT-R R32, Godzilla. The R32 is the car I hinted at earlier, so dominant it was banned from racing. Nicknamed Godzilla, the Skyline GT-R R32 arrived in the Australian Touring Car Championship in 1990, and won all 29 races it entered. The competition didn't lose. They were humiliated. Organizers had to change the rules to slow it down. It didn't work. The R32 featured all-wheel drive with an active torque split system, four-wheel steering, and a twin-turbo inline-six officially rated at 280 horsepower, though real output was closer to 320. Tuners quickly discovered the legendary RB26 engine could handle 600, 700, and even 800 horsepower on stock internals. Compare that to a small block Chevy, where building that power would require an entirely rebuilt engine. The R32 didn't just win, it redefined performance. Detroit was still building muscle cars. Nissan built Godzilla. Car number 6, Mitsubishi 3000 GT-R4. The Mitsubishi 3000 GT-R4 was a car that tried to do everything, and somehow succeeded. It featured a twin-turbo V6, all-wheel drive, four-wheel steering, active aerodynamics, adjustable suspension, and even electronically controlled exhaust valves. Essentially, it was more computer than car, yet every system was dedicated to one goal: dominating the competition, with 300 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time under 5 seconds. In 1991, it was supercar territory while weighing 3,800 pounds. Through engineering wizardry, Mitsubishi made a heavier car handle like something half its weight. Pop-up headlights, sweeping body lines, and a cockpit that made you feel like a fighter pilot. Every detail screamed precision. Muscle cars weren't just outgunned, they were irrelevant. Car number 5, Toyota Supra MK4. The Toyota Supra MK4 needs no introduction. Its 2JZ twin-turbo inline-six produced 320 horsepower stock, but the engine's real secret lay in its overbuilt internals. Stock components could handle 800 horsepower, and with basic modifications, tuners pushed it past 1,000 horsepower. American muscle cars, producing 300 to 350 horsepower stock, required extensive upgrades to compete. Meanwhile, the Supra could casually cruise at 700 horsepower, drag strip, highway roll, or casual street run. It didn't matter. The Supra dominated effortlessly, while looking sleek, aggressive, and purposeful. The MK4 didn't just beat American muscle, it made it irrelevant. Car number 4, Nissan Skyline GT-R R34. If the R32 was Godzilla, the R34 was Godzilla with a computer science degree. Nissan added technology that seemed straight out of science fiction. The R34 featured a multi-function display showing boost pressure, oil temperature, G-forces, and lap times in real time. The RB26 twin-turbo returned, officially rated at 280 horsepower, but lying as always. Its ASA ETS Pro, all-wheel drive, and Super Hellcat four-wheel steering adjusted constantly, dozens of times per second. The R34 could out-corner, out-brake, and out-accelerate almost anything America offered. Corvettes had power, but not control. Vipers had power, but not balance. Mustangs and Camaros? Not even in the conversation. The cultural impact was immense. Fast and Furious made Paul Walker's R34 the most recognizable Japanese car worldwide. It didn't just destroy American muscle on the track, it destroyed it in the hearts and minds of an entire generation. Car number 3, Mazda RX-7 FC3S. Before the FD became a legend, there was the FC. Produced in the late 80s, the RX-7 FC3S taught a critical lesson: handling over horsepower. With 160 horsepower naturally aspirated and later 200 horsepower turbocharged, it sounds weak compared to 225 to 245 horsepower Mustangs and Camaros of the era. The FC weighed 2,700 pounds and had near-perfect front-to-rear weight distribution. While Mustangs plowed corners and Camaros fought understeer, the FC danced. It dominated autocross and canyon runs, turning average drivers into pros. Muscle cars had power, but the FC had control, proving Detroit that driving pleasure isn't just about straight-line speed. Car number 2, Honda Civic Type REK9. The original Honda Civic Type R of 1997 was a front-wheel drive hatchback, making 185 horsepower from a 1.6-liter engine. On paper, it was a joke compared to American muscle. On track, it was a scalpel. Honda transformed a basic economy car into a track weapon, shedding weight, installing lightweight Recaro seats, adding a helical limited slip differential, and tuning the suspension with surgical precision. The car weighed 2,350 pounds, revved to 8,400 RPM, and produced peak power at 8,200 RPM, well beyond the reach of most V8s of the era. The Civic lapped faster than Mustang GTs, outhandled Camaros, and embarrassed Corvettes in corners. No torque, no brute force, just balance, precision, and engineering excellence. How modified Civics could run 12-second quarter miles while achieving 30+ miles per gallon. The ultimate insult to Detroit. Car number 1, Datsun 240Z. And finally, the car that started it all, the Datsun 240Z. Released in 1969, at the peak of American muscle, it was compact, affordable, and revolutionary. With a 2.4-liter inline-six producing 150 horsepower, it seemed weak compared to Mustangs, Camaros, and Firebirds. But the 240Z weighed just 2,300 pounds, had independent rear suspension, rack and pinion steering, and a chassis designed to turn. While muscle cars relied on raw speed and luck on curves, the 240Z treated corners as opportunities. It sold over 160,000 units in the US alone, outselling the Corvette, proving Americans crave driving enjoyment, not just horsepower. And the 240Z didn't just beat muscle cars, it changed the game forever. It opened doors for the Supra, NSX, RX-7, and GT-R. Every Japanese performance car since owes its existence to this revolutionary machine. From the 240Z to the Supra MK4, the RX-7s, the NSX, and Godzilla itself, Japanese engineering repeatedly proved that technology, balance, and precision could dismantle raw American muscle. These cars didn't just outperform, they changed expectations, rewrote rules, and reshaped automotive culture globally. If you're a fan of speed, precision, and legendary engineering, make sure to hit subscribe, because we're just getting started exploring the machines that revolutionize performance.